Kevin Khan here for Seconds Out with the one and only Joseph Parker, heavyweight Joseph Parker in Dublin. Joe, what brings you here?
I'm here for training camp. I'm here training in, I'm living in Dalkey. Andy lives in Dunleary and we're training not far from where we're staying. So we're having camp here for the next week. And we'll be in England for a week and then Saudi for 2 weeks. So we're not too far off now until fight time.
Well, it's good to see you here nonetheless, and it's good to see you in a big fight against Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Did you know about this fight heading into your fight with Simon Keane?
I didn't know about this fight. I knew about this fight a week and a half after I fought Simon Keane. I was in New Zealand and I had Zhang locked in for a fight. Then after a few days it was Dubois. Then after about 5 or 6 days it was Wilder. So I've been busy this year and I'm pumped and excited for this fight end of the year. I think it's the biggest challenge in my career. And I want to put on the best performance and I know what I can do. I'm having a great camp so far, so everything's on track.
In terms of being on track, you're looking to be on track for the victory. What's your scout report on Wilder? Look, we know he's got that tremendous right hand. He's been working with Malik Scott to improve his boxing skill. Have you seen those improvements in him under Malik Scott?
I've seen a lot of changes. I think everyone has seen a lot of changes in Deontay Wilder and his boxing. Like, he's always been a good boxer and he's always had that power, but I think Malik's adding a lot to his game. And Malik's one of those fighters and coaches who studies the game a lot, writes notes down, watches a lot of fight film. So he's got a good boxing brain, Malik Scott, and it's good to see them teaming up together.
Now, I spoke to Andy Lee in terms of how you look to game plan the fight. I know you won't give a lot away, but can you take things from the game plan that Tyson Fury implemented in the 3 fights, or will you have to do this completely your own way?
I think I want to get a bit of advice and help from Tyson. I want to be doing a bit of sparring, hopefully. But I think ultimately I'm going to be the one in the ring, and I'm not 6'9" with the longest reach. So I have to, with Andy and Tyson, come up with a game plan which will work for me and what I present, my height and my reach, not 6'9", and So it's that's what camp is for. Camp is for to come up with a plan and practice it in sparring, and on fight I execute it to the best of my ability.
So what's more likely? Are you likelier to get the victory by boxing or by knocking him out?
Both. I want to box, I want to move, I want to throw big shots, I want to throw combinations, I want to land on him, and I want to knock him out. Like, listen, everyone knows that Deontay Wilder's got a knockout power. I have to show that I have it too, and it's up to me.
Is it, look, I know you're a fighter and stuff, but is it a daunting prospect knowing that he has that power, that he has the power to switch anyone's lights off at any moment? Do you look at that, not with a bit of fear, but just like that caution?
I think Andy mentioned it in one of his interviews, this fight, I have to be switched on. Every second, every minute, every round. Can't switch off, because that's when you switch off, that's when he's going to get you. And he is a dangerous fighter. He's got the biggest right hand probably in boxing history as a heavyweight. So just going to go in there and focus on my plan. And I'm not worried, or it's not daunting. It's just what we know what he's going to bring.
In the conversations you've have had with Fury in the past about Deontay Wilder, what's he said about him as a fighter?
He said, listen, Tyson's been knocked down by Wilder a few times. So he knows how dangerous he is. But also, I think Tyson knows what I can bring, So it's up to me to get the camp right and put in the best work I can and approach the fight extreme confidence, which I have.
A few years back, a few fights back, people would question your confidence, or question your motivation, not your confidence, to say you've already climbed the ladder, what more do you need to do, what more do you want to do, where's the motivation? Does this prove that you've got the motivation, that there aren't any doubts about who you'll fight, that you'll face anyone?
I want to prove to myself that I belong at the top. My goal is to be champion of the world again, but you have to take these steps to get there. And I win over Deontay Wilder, everything opens up. He's a big name, he's still highly ranked, top fighter, a lot of respect to him, but I know what I can do and I'm going to do it well on the 23rd of December.
Would you revisit that fight with Daniel Dubois?
Anyone. I'm in the sport of boxing to fight the best there is, and if Dubois comes away with a win, and if I come away with a good win, then we can make any fight happen.
Do you think he does come away with a win?
Dubois, tough fight. Joe Miller is a good fighter, so it's a tough fight. A lot of these fights I can't really call. I'm good friends with a lot of them, so I'm just gonna sit back with my popcorn, cheer them on, and then have my fight.
So I'll get your thoughts on a couple of the other heavyweight fights. First of all, Anthony Joshua versus Otto Holland. A lot of people saying this is a tricky fight, but maybe not really commenting on Anthony Joshua's boxing skill, having beaten him before in the amateurs. Is this as tricky fight as it's been perceived for Anthony Joshua?
Tricky fight because Joshua has been in the ring and has been busy himself, but Wallen as well is a tricky fighter. We saw a lot of his fights, and a lot of people. I know he's one of them fighters who wants to fight everyone, but he can't really lock in fights. And now he's got this big opportunity, and he's coming off a very good win. So we'll see.
Who'd you pick?
I don't know.
A lot of people kind of, whenever Anthony Joshua talks, they kind of question his mentality. Have you ever had those questions about his mentality as a fighter? Do you see those holes in his game in terms of the mind?
I'm not really sure. I can't really comment on his mentality. I mean, he says things and he does things and people question him, but he's still in the sport. He's locked in this big fight, and he's in training camp, so you can't really question. If someone's ready for a fight, that means they're all in.
The other side of the equation, Tyson Fury takes on Oleksandr Usyk. Finally, the fight that we all want to see, the undisputed heavyweight clash next year. Can't wait for it. I want to know, Joe, are people saying that this is going to be a fight of physicality, Tyson Fury's strength and size versus skill, maybe giving the edge to Usyk for skill? Is Usyk more skillful than Tyson?
His skill is different to Tyson's skill. He's a lot more movement, and with Tyson being big, Tyson's very skillful himself. So I think it's just the fight is finally happening, and everyone's excited for it. I'm looking forward to having my fight and watching their fight, and hopefully be in Saudi for it.
Derek Chisora said that he wrote the game plan, the blueprint on how to beat Oleksandr Usyk in his performance against Oleksandr Usyk, although he didn't get the win. Do you feel that's something that Tyson Fury can take into his fight alongside what he does as well too?
Listen, Chisora did awesome, but I think every fighter has their own plan and every fighter has their own way of approaching a fight. So, Chisora did amazing against Usyk. It was a very close fight, that one.
Off the back of the Ngannou fight, people were saying, credible people in the industry were saying that Tyson Fury his legs might have gone, he might have gone old overnight. Is that plausible, or was it just a bad fight on the night?
I think, my own opinion is that I thought he had not the best performance. We all know he could have performed better than that, but Ngannou put on a great performance, probably the performance of his life. So Tyson has to go back with his team, make a plan, approach camp how he thinks he should, get camp right, and take care of business on the 17th of February.
Would you fight Francis Ngannou?
Yes, 100%. I have a lot of respect for Francis Ngannou, what he's done in UFC and the fight he put on with Tyson. I'd love to fight him one day. I respect him as a fighter. Ultimate respect is getting in the ring and giving it a go.
What do you think of the link-up between Anthony Joshua and Ben Davison, just over back to Adrian? Do you think that's a good link-up for him?
I think Ben Davison is a good trainer, and he's done a lot in boxing, and he's got a good mind, boxing mind. So I think it's an interesting matchup, but it's good. I see a lot of clips. They're working together and already focused on the task.
When you were fighting Anthony Joshua, when you were in the ring with him, what would you say up close was his biggest strength?
At that time in my boxing career, his strengths were fighting him, height and reach, and keeping me at bay.
Joe, just a final thing here. Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron 2, or Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor, I should say. It's a rematch. Do you think Katie Taylor can do anything to change the result around and get the victory this time, or do you think Chantel Cameron comes through it again?
I think she can, but it's tough, coming into a rematch, and hopefully with their camp, they've made adjustments needed to take on Cameron. But Cameron's going to come in with a lot of confidence, and it's going to be a good night.
So I'll leave the final word with you as you prepare for December 23rd, a real good fight in prospect. What happens when you meet Deontay Wilder in the ring?
I'm going to win, and I can't wait for it. I'm ready 100%.
I can't wait either. Joe, pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for speaking to SecondsOut, sir. All the best.